Good morning everybody, welcome to the channel. If you haven't been to the channel before, this is exactly what it says, Di's Home and Garden. And today we're looking at the garden. So we're not actually going to be spending time in my garden, but we're going to be going to a produce swap meet. And that we meet once a month and we swap all sorts of things. So if you follow me on my journey today, you'll see what sorts of things that we actually do swap when we're there. And we're blessed with the weather today, beautiful sunny day. So let's get into it. So here are some of the things that I'll be taking along today. There's freshly picked leeks from my garden. There's also some turnips there, just a few. And you'll see that I've got chocos. Now some of those chocos have sprouted and I'm taking those along because other people may like to grow their own choco vines and they always ask, how do you do it? So I had some of those just lying on the ground near my choco vine and they'd sprouted, so I'll take those along. I'm also taking some parsley, some dehydrated lemons from my lemon tree, and in that little pot there you can see that I've got some freshly harvested turmeric. Here are some other things that I'm taking along. There's some aloe vera, which I've grown, and there is a pot of Thai chili. There's also seedlings that I've raised, and there are seedlings for celery and silver beet. And there's some freshly harvested ginger that I shared with the group. Now when I took that along, a lot of people were interested in it and asked me how did I grow my ginger. So perhaps I harvested some of that a little bit too late, and some of it did have little sprouts on it, and I was able to show people where the sprouts were, how to plant it, and we shared information on how to grow it and various methods that were available for growing it. So we don't only swap produce, we also swap information and ideas. I don't have any chooks, but my daughter does, so I saved the egg cartons for my daughter. But there was a real build-up and she was receiving egg cartons from everyone. So I did have a pile of egg cartons. This is only a small portion of what I did have. And I took them along thinking, well, somebody in the group will have eggs. We'll have chickens. But there wasn't anybody at that meeting that had chickens, but someone there said, oh, my friend's got chickens and she would love the egg cartons. So they were taken. Instead of getting those put into the recycling bin or anything like that, they were used again. So it was great to be able to recycle and to be able to use those again. Here's some mint that I took along. And what I find by going to the produce swap meet is that if I've got stuff in the garden that I'm not going to use, it's great to be able to pick it and take it along and share. But the other benefit of that is that it's helping my plants, because when I go out to pick mint, say a week or two after I've picked this that I took along on the day, I've got a whole lot of fresh mint growing, and so I'm using fresh produce myself. If I wasn't a member of the produce swap meet, that mint would have probably sat on the bush, and by the time I picked it, because I needed to use it, it might have been quite old. It might have been months old. So I'm picking things on a regular basis and taking them and sharing them, but it's helping my plants by getting them to reproduce more, and the more I pick, the more I get. So it's great. This is how I grow my seedlings. So I have a few little hothouses, mini hothouses, and I also have a table here, which I just have too many to fit in my little hothouses. So I grow seedlings from my own garden, but while I'm at it, I always grow extra, because you don't know if they're all going to germinate, and any extra that I get, I can take to the produce swap meet. And also when I'm there, often a lot of people will ask me, oh, do you have any seedlings of this or of that? And so I do take note of what they ask for. And if I've got the seeds on hand, I'll pick them up and take them along to the next meeting. I really enjoy growing seeds, so that's a great thing for me to be able to do. And as I said, you'd never know how many are going to germinate, so often I do end up with too many to use, even if I just pot them up for myself. So it's great that they're not going to waste and that other people get to use them. It's great when we meet that we can share a cuppa and a little snack. And if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I love cooking and particularly baking. So I always make sure that I take something along, and I try to make sure that it's gluten-free and dairy-free so that nobody's excluded and everybody can enjoy. And here you can see some of the things that other people have brought along on the day. There you can see that there's some bromeliads, there's succulents, there's a plant just to the side. I don't know what that is, but lots of things were brought along. And I got there on time, but I found that a lot of things had already been swapped and taken. So there were a lot more things than that. Besides that, there were lots of fruit. There were oranges, lemons. I think that there were some chocos as well. So there were food as well as plants. And here are some things that I've got from the produce swap meet in the past that are in my garden now. So I've got a little tiny piece of lemon balm, and someone said, oh, that's too small, you won't be able to grow that. But here it is in a pot. I did strike lucky with that, and it is growing. So I'm just about to move that onto a larger pot to keep it growing. The second photo there is some scented geranium, and that's at the back of that pot there. And it's wonderfully, and it's really smells great. And then the other thing that I got was some bromeliads that I've planted underneath my almond tree. They're just starting off now, so they don't really look that good, but give them a few months and they're going to look great. And here's some of the people in the group. Not everybody's able to make it every month. We meet once a month, and we have a variety of people coming along. So as I say, it's not the same group every month, and that adds to the variety of things that we actually swap. So we have a great time, and it's one surefire way to be able to create a garden on a budget, because you can pick up seedlings, cuttings, information, and some people even go around to each other's house because they like to look at each other's gardens, and when they do that, they take their secateurs and leave with a whole bunch of cuttings. So it's a great way to meet like-minded people if you're interested in gardening. And it's also a way to get nice fresh produce, because you can't grow everything yourself, and some people like to specialise in some things, so taking them along and sharing what you've got with others is a great way to double your harvest, really. And it's a great way to make friends. So there's lots and lots of benefits. So maybe you might consider joining a produce swap meet in your area. The way I found mine was just on Facebook. I just looked up on Facebook to see if there was a produce swap meet, and there it popped up, and it was only 10 minutes away from my place is where they meet. So maybe you could try that in your area. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope to see you back again.